Joining our coverage now is someone who knows all about this, and that is former LA County Sheriff Alex Villanueva. He's joining our coverage now live on set here in the Fox 11 studio. Thank you for taking the time out. Our condolences to you, because let me ask you, have you gotten word? Did you know these deputies?
I know one of the deputies, and I was a supervisor of one of them, and you know, throughout a career our paths cross all the time, and especially a unit like that where the most senior members of the department tend to congregate in those type of units that are very specialized.
Without saying their identities or saying anything inappropriate, what can you tell us about these guys?
Well, all three of them are long-term department members, I think from 19 to 33 years. The 33-year veteran was on the verge of retiring. I mean, that was literally around the corner for him. And all of them, one has 4 children, recently remarried, and it's just hard for the individuals, hard for the co-workers. I have good friends that are their co-workers that my wife reached out to them to see how they're doing. It's just it's really a long, sad day for the department.
I'm sure they're shattered, understandably so. You're seeing the procession here. I don't know if you were en route, so I'm not sure if you saw just the size of it. I want to get your reaction, though, to the live pictures here. It
is probably the largest one I've ever seen, and, you know, rightfully so, considering the circumstances. And it's a short distance from Biscaloo to the LCMC to the coroner's office is barely 2 miles, if that. And but it's a solid a symbol of what each one of these fallen deputies represents for not just the law enforcement community, but for the entire nation.
I know you've been a part of this before, right, as the sheriff. What's it like? Take us sort of inside what it's like to be a part of a procession like this, and what a day like this is like.
Well, I had the misfortune when Tom Albanese was killed in a motorcycle accident, and on my birthday of all days, so hard to forget. And we went to the scene, we escorted his remains, and it's a longer distance from Paramount all the way to the county, the coroner's office, and it was heartwarming to see individuals lining the roadway, even homeless people, taking off their cap. And
yeah,
it's tough.
We were seeing the images of the overpass, which is a common sight when these processions get underway. When, to Alex's point, you may not be able to say exactly what you know, but when you're hearing about the transfer of explosives and the longevity that all 3 of these veterans had, I mean, what are your thoughts on what went wrong today?
Well, the job they do is extremely dangerous. I mean, it's a specialized unit. It takes a year of training just in that particular function, and then takes years of practice to be proficient enough at it. And they're the best of in the business in the entire nation. They are the experts at this. But again, if you see the volume of what they're doing day in and day out, they could do over 1,000 rollouts in a year, 1,000, which means 2 or 3 times a day they're going to a suspicious package or a pipe bomb, or you know, grandkids, hey, my Vietnam vet grandpa passed away, now we have a box of grenades in the garage. Typically things like that. Wow. And that's what they do day in, day out, and unfortunately it didn't work out for them.
This procession is now just arriving at where our live camera is by the coroner's office. I think let's listen in and have sort of collective moment of silence and listen to the sights of this and pay our respects as well. American flag over these body bags as well. Sheriff, I'm curious your emotions just thinking about your friends in this moment.
I'm recalling in 2019 when we walked the remains of Joe Solano from County USC down the street where they're going through under the overpass, then up the hill, the driveway to the medical examiner's office, and we had a procession of deputies walking, and it just brings back those memories, and it's tough to see, and it really shows you how fragile life can be, especially in these stressful, dangerous environments that some people take for granted, but this shows you can't.
And to think, I mean, as we're seeing this gentleman here, this deputy standing at attention, paying his respects, that many of them, they're on duty. They have to perform their job once this all comes to an end. I mean, that just speaks to the heart of a law enforcement officer.
Yes, and that was my message that day, and it remains the same message today, that we mourn the losses, but
it's hard. I mean,
yeah, it's really tough.
And we think about it's not just a colleague, but their friends, right?
Mm-hmm,
and
family.
And family, and how sudden this whole thing is. Not something anybody was expecting today.